Sample along a string is probably the most useful feature of Fabric Decorator. As you can see in this scene, almost everything is made using sample along a string with some simple settings. Now to start, obviously just like all the other features, you can just simply draw and it's going to draw anything on that spline that you have created. For instance, in this case, we are using sample type stones and a stone type pearl, but you could use anything else if you want to. We have something called density mask. Now, density mask is not useful in this case, but to just show you what it does, it's going to mask our objects based on a specific density. Then we have selection, which is the selection of single or pool. For instance, if I go to this one, you can see that our pool is round gems. Now, round gems are a collection I have created, and it's just simply going to select the gems inside this collection based on ID, PSID, or randomly. Now, to show you what PSID or randomly means, let me draw some other curves here. And let's actually separate these. And also let's use the collection gems with prongs. As you can see right now, as ID is using this baguette sort of gem, and this one is using a round gem. And if I use PSID, it's going to start with the baguette, then this one is I think it's an emerald, then this one is a flounder, and it's going to be the same on both splines. And randomly is obviously going to simply just pick them randomly. Then we have something called single, which simply selects them single. Now we have stones. We have all different types of stones, and each one has its own settings. For example, if I choose emerald, I can decide whether it's being instanced with or without the prong. And then we have flowers, which in this case, if we want to use them, we have to lower the scale a lot. And we have different types of flowers. Then we have buttons. Let's make this 0.1. And as you can see, we are sampling different types of buttons, and we can decide whether it's using stitching or not. And then we have custom object, which could be any object made by you sampled along these splines. And pool is again just a collection of different objects. Now we don't need this. Actually, let's keep this one for a second. Let's increase the scale back to 1 or 0.5. Let's also choose her as our sample. We have something called a scale by a spline radius, which again just scale them based on the spline radius. And we have something called rotate. Now rotate is the global rotation of these objects. For example, if I go 90 here, 90 here, and then move them a little this way, you can see that they are all reacting to it. And then we can invert every other one of them so that we have this sort of petal-like or wreath-like pattern going on. And we could also offset them on the x-axis to make sure they are more like the pattern we are looking to generate. And we could increase their size or increase the amount of them inside of this spline. Of course, it's going to make them smaller because we are packing by radius as well. And as you can see, just as simple as that, I've created this sort of wreath-like pattern. Then we have override material. This is in case you're using a custom object and you don't want to override the material of it. You could just simply ignore this. But if you do want to, as long as you have two materials, primary material and secondary material, in this case the gem and the prong, you can simply change their materials. Then we have render a string, which just like sequins is going to render a string that these gems are created with. For example, let's delete this one. For example, in the case of these pearls, I have a string going inside them, or they could be beads or anything. In this case, they are pearls, and we have a string of 0.3 radius with the offset of 0.01, because the offset of the pearls, so that they are not overlapping with the fabric, is also 0.01. So we make sure that the string is moving through them in the center, through the center of these pearls. And again, we have fill caps, we have resolution of the string, and a spline radius, which changes the radius of the strings based on the radius of the spline. And that's it for sample along a string. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.